Hey guys, John here with All Of Our Paintball. I am back in the tech room. Today I'm going to show you how to install your Virtue In-Charge battery pack into your Spire 4. Don't forget we do weekly tech videos and product review videos, so if that's something you enjoy to watch, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Today I'm going to cover a few little tricks that I figured out when you're installing it to make sure you don't get frustrated. Let's get started. Alright, to get started putting the In-Charge battery pack into your new Spire 4, all you're really going to need is, of course, the loader, the battery pack, and a Phillips head screwdriver. It doesn't have to have a real small head, but you want to have a pretty good pointed tip on here, not a larger Phillips head screwdriver. Okay, so first things first, you're going to press the back button here, and always turn it, and then I'm going to pull the loader shell apart like that. Next, you're going to take your two fingers, your index and your thumb here, and you're going to pinch this piece towards the front of the loader, or towards you. And that is going to remove the inside tray. Your next step, you want to go ahead and turn over the tray. So this is where the batteries and your battery pack is going to replace. And you want to grab these wires here. I'm just going to grab them pretty firmly. I'm not going to yank on them, but I'm going to slowly wiggle this back and forth. Next, you're going to want to, there's a small little clip here. And this is like your motor housing area. So you're going to go ahead and push this tab towards yourself. And then this whole section should come up and out the back of the loader. And you go ahead and set that aside. Okay, the next step, now that you've got the wires disconnected from the motor housing, is these small corners right here. They need to be bent back just a little bit. So I'm going to hold the tray in my left hand. And then I'm going to take my index finger and my thumb, not on the ramp, but on just this plastic piece here, I'm going to push them backwards. So just like this. And I'm going to do that to both sides. And the board will come right out. So you don't want to do it too much, but just enough to allow the little clips that hold the circuit board in place to be released. And you're going to pull the board straight out the front. And there you go. And go ahead and lay the tray to the side. Next, you're going to want to release the Velcro. Hold this out of the way, and this is why you need your Phillips head screwdriver. So you're going to take that there. On the back side here is a small nut, so I'm going to put my finger on that nut, like my middle finger on the nut, and hold the Velcro back. And I'm going to unscrew this here. Okay, and then the screw is going to come right out. And then you're going to want to unplug the wire here. It's going to be two black and white wire. Go ahead and grab both of those equally and kind of wiggle those back and forth, and you're good to go. Okay, so then you're going to want to, of course, open your package, and inside your package, you're going to have a small baggie. And grab the battery pack there. And you're going to want to grab the new, longer nut and screw and wiring harness. So the one you're going to look for is going to be the shorter. You will have other ones in here, so let's go over those. You have one that has a bunch of wires on it. Put that to the side. You have a much longer one. This is for the Spire IR. And then the one you're looking for, not the black screw, but the new one with the nut and the longer screw. So before you start to try to put anything in, this is one of our quick tricks that we've learned, is this small hole in the battery pack has foam on the back of it. So you have to poke through that foam first. So before you do anything else, flip over the battery pack and find that hole. Basically, I'm just going to press against the foam there. And what I'm trying to do is I'm going to press this screw directly through that hole from the back side. And the reason for that is otherwise it's going to push just the foam out of the way and it won't puncture a hole. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to push that screw all the way through there. And it pokes a hole nicely through there, so it's much easier to do once you have it all attached. Okay, so now that you've got the hole completely through the battery pack, go ahead and attach the wires. This is another thing we've learned. So you're going to take the larger end of the two, so you have a thin end and a thicker end, and you're going to go ahead and attach that in there. So the way to know if you're doing this correctly is there's a small line on one side, and then of course on the receiving end, on the female end, there's a small slot on the board, and you're just going to line those two pieces up, and they'll slide in. You shouldn't have to force this in at all. And then you're going to take the other end and match up the lines on the side. It has two little grooves on the board, and plug that in. Again, you shouldn't have to force this in at all. And the reason why you do this first is because if you try to plug it in once it's on the board, it's a really tight fit. So we found out that this is one of the best ways of doing this. That way, once you lay everything down, just like this, it's all put together right. Okay, so the next step is right here where it says PWR. This is your power and your power button, and this is your power plug. This is where your hole is. You're going to line that hole up with the hole on the board. This is what we punctured the hole in from the foam. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this around until I can see all the way through from this side to this side. And once you get that pretty close, you're going to want to hold it in place with your hands. Take the longer screw, not the stock screw, but the new screw you grabbed out of your kit, and drop that right in and press that through. And if it doesn't line up exactly, you want to move it just around just a little bit. And if you can't line it up, start over. So just like that there. I'm going to push it out. So we want to, you have to start over. You're going to want to, again, line that hole up. The hole right there with the one on the board. And go ahead and press the screw all the way through. There you go. And once you've got it there, you'll see it sticks out the backside just a little bit. And I'm going to take my finger, hold it over the head of the screw, and take the new nut and just tighten that down just to get it started. And once you kind of get it in place, you can hold the nut on the back and then take your Phillips head screwdriver and start screwing it down. Once it catches, you'll feel it through your finger. You'll feel the screw start to hit your finger just a little bit. And I'm just going to straighten this up so it's equal, or it's even all around, and tighten this up. And you don't want to put all your muscles into this screw and tighten it all the way up, just enough to hold it in place. Again, it's going to be inside of your loader. I did it till it's a little more than flush, so the screw is sticking out the back side of this nut just a little bit. Okay, so once you've got the wires that are attached here, you've got the screw and the nut on there, you want to put this back on the tray. So we have the spring side of the tray, that's going to be facing down, so down towards the table. And you're going to take the circuit board and everything, and you want to, so there's a small little prong here, and there's a small slot cut out there. You can kind of lay this down on top of that there. So hopefully you can see it there. And you're going to start from the front and kind of work your way back until that lines up, because you have a prong here and a prong here, both these here that stick into the board. So I'll show you just like this, and it sets into the board. Make sure those two are underneath these little plastic ledges. That way the back of the board or the middle of the board is held in place. Next, you're going to want the little clips on the front. You can do the same thing we did when we uninstalled it. Is you're going to take your thumb and your index finger and you're going to push it back just a little bit. That's going to allow the board to snap in place. You can do that on both sides a couple times until you see the little clips here on both sides actually hold in place. And then you can kind of move it back and forth and everything's good to go. So next step is going to take the motor housing. This also has two prongs on the back here that are going to sit into the back of the tray. So take motor housing. So again, we have the ramp here that's going to be facing down, the drive cone facing down. We're going to take it here and line it up into that little slot, both sides, and then it's going to like hinge down. Before you click it into place, you want to make sure you get these wires out of the way, and then just pull them up. There's a little slot that's right here. You're going to pull this wire harness and hold it to where it sits between that little groove right there, and you're just going to clip it down. You hear it snap into place, and you're good to go. Final step, you want to make sure that the side of the harness that has the two lines on it, not the little electronic components, the two lines is facing down. So I'm going to face this down, and then I'm going to plug it in. And there's going to be, the plug is going to be right underneath this board. And then go ahead and push it in. I'm going to take my thumbnails and slide it into place. Not too hard. I'm holding the back side here. And before you put everything back together, before you put all this back into the loader and go to the field, you want to go ahead and turn it on. So it's the bottom button here. The light's going to turn on and the loader starts spinning. That means you have correctly hooked up the battery harness and all the wires and everything, and you're all set. So you want to go ahead and put that back in your loader, or put it back in the loader shell. The front nose is going to go first. If you did enjoy this video, or if you found it helpful, please take a second to like our video. That really helps our videos show up to other players like yourself that are looking for similar videos. So, and of course, if you like weekly tech videos and product review videos, make sure you subscribe. So first you're going to take the front nose here and slide that in. That's just going to set in place, and then you're going to just press down until the back clips into place. Same with the shell, and you're all set. you guys have any questions or if I missed anything, please comment below. If you have any other video requests that you'd like to see, of course, comment below or reach out to us on social media. That way we can get some new video ideas and share them with you guys. Other than that, I think we've pretty much covered all the basics. Thank you guys so much for watching.